More schools have confirmed that Connor Stalions bought tickets to games there. Who is Connor Stalions? That is the now suspended Michigan staffer who is accused of running a sign-stealing operation where he bought tickets to games, sent people to those games to video the sideline or somehow steal the signals that the teams were signaling in so that when Michigan played those teams, Michigan would have the offensive and defensive signals coming in from the sidelines, would know what they were and could decipher them. These are accusations right now, but it keeps getting deeper and deeper. On Tuesday night, Larry Williams of Tiger Illustrated reported that Stalions bought a ticket to a Clemson game. Ross Dellinger of Yahoo reported that he got tickets to games involving Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. Pete Thamel of ESPN reported that there is a 12th Big Ten school that is now confirmed that he bought tickets there. So that's 12 out of the 13 that aren't Michigan. It just keeps going and going and going. And the Michigan folks, of course, they're saying he went rogue. They're saying that the coaching staff had no knowledge of this. And it's interesting because we make fun of message board guys sometimes, but message board guys sometimes, here's some things. Look at this post. On3's VolQuest, the Tennessee site for On3. This comes from 2022, December 1st, 2022. So remember, Tennessee was a college football playoff contender up until the loss. Well, the loss to Georgia, but really the loss to South Carolina was what ended that. But a VolQuest poster named Arnie Palmy Alert said, "Oh, do I have a story on that? One of my little brother's quote-unquote friends is a quote-unquote scout for them," referring to Michigan. "They paid for him to travel to the UT Vandy game, had planned on it before the loss, obviously, to try to steal our signs. He's from Nashville originally, so he just went anyway, even after our loss, since it was Thanksgiving. Says he and the others are never allowed to talk to Harbaugh directly about it." Now, here's a January post from that same poster. No clue if related, but I posted on here a couple of months ago about a mutual friend of mine that was working for Michigan, going to other schools' games, stealing plays. They'd pay his flights, lodging, food, and seats right behind that team's bench for him to get video, notes, etc. Michigan is pulling out all the stops, it seems. I'm telling you, sometimes message board guy has it down cold. Scoop the world on this one. This just keeps going and going and going. What does it all mean? I'm not sure we're going to have an answer to that. As we keep saying, the NCAA does not move quickly on these things, and there's not really a mechanism to do any sort of punishment in season. So if it was found that Michigan was doing this in season, this season, I don't know that that means the NCAA or the Big Ten can do anything about it. You know, if you're Michigan, you're going to lawyer up to make sure that you can finish out this season and you can play in this postseason. I'm just not sure there's any way that the NCAA or the Big Ten can issue any discipline. Remember, the last time the NCAA went outside its normal disciplinary process to punish a school was Penn State after all the Jerry Sandusky stuff. The NCAA ended up getting taken to court and ended up having to walk those sanctions back. So I don't think you're going to see that. And there's a level of frustration when you talk to people from these schools because there's not much right now that can be done. But I'm just fascinated by this whole thing. I want to know how it all worked. I want a movie made about it. This is just incredible. Even Kirby Smart got asked about it because remember, Georgia played Michigan in the Orange Bowl following the 2021 season.
I guess the necessary follow-up, that's obviously coming about Michigan. You played Michigan. You aware in retrospect or at the time anything unusual?
No, I didn't notice anything or know anything. Nobody we talked to, warned us or any of that. I mean, I think everybody we play, they say, they steal your signals. I mean, we play somebody, they always like, they're great at stealing your signals, but what they're referencing is different than stealing them. I mean, they're coming in, they're talking about people coming to film them. That's completely different. But we've tried to, hide the signals, hold the calls, put signs up, do all that. But I was nothing I remember about the Michigan game that makes me think that.
First of all, that last line was completely savage because he's referencing that they beat Michigan 34-11 in that game, and it was never close. So if Michigan had signs, it didn't help. But what Kirby is saying is similar to what other coaches around the country are saying. And so for all of you who are saying everybody does this, no, everybody does try to steal signs when they are in game and they're watching the other team's signals. They are trying to decipher what's going on. They've probably got somebody in the press box with binoculars watching the sideline, trying to decipher what's going on. They're probably watching when they get the coach's film to see if there's anything that shows up that they can take. That's every school doing that. And that is not against the rules. Sending someone to a game that is not your own, and especially having someone videotape that is a different story. Thamel from ESPN reported that the NCAA has an hour of video showing someone sitting in a seat bought by Connor Stalions videoing the sideline of one of the teams. That's not within the rules. So that's the situation. The most interesting thing about this, we've yet to find out whether anybody got to a TCU game last year. In case you have forgotten, TCU beat Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl 51-45. Maybe they didn't make it there. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.